Welcome everybody tonight to the City Vacant Planning Commission for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Before we get started, I'm going to read the guidelines for public comments for the City Vacant Planning Commission meetings. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. During public comment periods of the meeting, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chairman. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address the commission, speakers should limit their comments to the agenda item or the application being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from the commission are posed to the speaker. Given the time constraints, there's a clock on the televisions that you can watch. When you get to 4 minutes, I'll raise my hand and I ask you to wrap it up in that last minute, and then we'll call it at 5 minutes to give everybody an equal opportunity to speak tonight. To begin the night, we'll be talking about we'll approve the minutes from the public session of April 15th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
April 15th.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Messina, second by Commissioner Clayton. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. And it's unanimous. We do not have any old business tonight, so we'll move right into the new business for item A. This is application number 25-20028, and this is an annexation request for tax parcel number 104-19-08-001. This is located on 1206 Pine Drive Northwest. They are currently in the county as residential single-family conservation, and they're asking to come into the city under residential single-family. Is the applicant here tonight to speak on behalf of this? Anybody to speak against, for, comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 25-20028, annexation request for tax parcel 104-19-08-001, current zoning RC, proposed zoning RS10, I make a motion that we move to City Council for approval.
Okay, motion for approval.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Erb, thank you. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. And it's unanimous. Item B, application number 25-20029. This is an annexation request for tax parcel number 104-16-06-003. This is at 744 Collins Avenue. They're currently in the county as a residential multifamily development, and they're looking to come into the city as residential single family. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this? Anybody for or against this application? Any comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, for application number 25-20029, annexation request for tax parcel 104-16-06-003. For current zoning is RD and the proposed city zoning would be RS15. I say we move to City Council for approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Erb. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Messina, thank you. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. And it passes unanimously. Item C. This is application number 25-20030, and this is an annexation request for tax parcel number 122-12-01-010. This is at 3037 Old Powder House Road, and they're currently in the county as residential multifamily development, and they're looking to come into the city under planned residential. The applicant is requesting annexation of the subject property, which would be currently rezoned to planned residential. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this tonight? Anybody here against this application? Anybody here for it or any comment? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and do it again. Application number 25-20030, annexation request for tax parcel 122-1201-010 Current zoning, RD, for county, and proposed city zoning would be planned residential, PR. I say we pass it to city council for approval.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Erb, seconded by Commissioner Clayton. Clayton Clarkson. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. And it passes unanimously. Item D, application number 25-60008, and this is a rezone request for tax parcel number 087-20-02-005. This is location at 115 Gregg Avenue Northwest, and the current zoning is RS15. Coming in, proposed zoning is limited professional. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this tonight? Yes, sir. Are you the applicant? I am the applicant. Yes, sir. Please come to the podium, and if you'll state your name and address for the record, and then tell us a little bit what you're looking for on this application.
My name is Sam Dack. I'm the chairman of the Building and Grounds Committee for the Aiken UU Church. And our purpose in requesting this zoning change, was maybe to bring the whole place a little bit more in line with the trend in the neighborhood and the ultimate usages in the neighborhood. And but primarily, our neighbor to the south has been LP for some time. But primarily, to quote what I wrote on the petition, we wish to bring the zoning into agreement with the long-standing church usage and with the general trend along Gregg Avenue in our vicinity. We are in an expansion phase and would prefer not to continue as an approved non-conforming use under the present zoning, which is outdated. Apparently, I was not fully informed. I had a number of conversations with Mr. Cowick about this, and was under the impression that a special exemption was something that might come into jeopardy under the new zoning. Apparently it does not. That only comes up for a change if the ownership changes, not if the zoning changes. That being the case, this affects our future plans not very much one way or the other at the present time. I think it would be nice if it were changed to LP because it would be more in line with what's going on in the area and more in line with the current and projected future use. But since it's not going to affect our expansion project in any way, one way or the other, if anybody's really upset about this, not having it approved would not cause us a lot of stress. So, is there any more information?
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant?
No? Well, the place is about to get a major facelift, which everybody's been wanting for a very long time.
Well, very good. Thank you for speaking tonight. Anybody against this application? Okay, yes, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, if you'll just come up to the podium so the folks online can hear you. And if you'll state your name and address for the record, I sure appreciate that.
It's listed as Victoria Timblin. I just recently got married, so it's under Manshine. It's my husband's name.
No
but
problem.
We
No
live
problem.
at 3431 Kingsport, which is across, not terribly
Is that across the street?
directly across on this first X under RSX.
Uh-huh.
Or 6, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That first house.
Okay.
While we like having the church there are some issues. We have a lot of traffic that is in a residential area of a lot of uninhabitable people from Richland Avenue that come to the church. They have a blessings box. It has become a bum box to us because it is a problem. These people are coming up and down the road in the middle of the night, causing a ruckus. We've had to call public safety multiple times. We have it on video, and it's uncomfortable. We have one guy that I've called multiple times. He's tweaking up and down Gregg Avenue, coming to this box, going to the property next to the church that has just been purchased. So hopefully that will end. But there's a school bus stop also on that corner. I just don't think them changing it to a business is a good idea. It's going to create more traffic to that location. It's already a very busy area, and it's not set up for that. That road is narrow, and the sight of vision right there is not very good. I just don't think that is a good idea.
Well, I don't think that anything's going to change with this application. They're still going to operate as they do. They're not changing their operations. It's still going to operate as a church. This is not changing the traffic or the usage of the building. This is just going from, he is a legal non-conforming status right now, and they're trying to come in under, well, it's technically still not legal, but he's coming under limited professional. But it's not going to change the current makeup of your area. And that's not what we're voting on tonight. The issues you speak of, which I understand, is probably something you should try to take up with the church leadership.
Well, and that once they do rezone that, then they can change it to anything, correct?
Not necessarily, no ma'am.
That doesn't change that.
I'll let the planning
Well,
director address that.
All right, so limited professional is just that, it's very limited. So at most, we're looking at offices, maybe a medical office,
And we're okay with that.
yeah.
That's gonna be less traffic in the evenings, obviously, at night, and then when we're good with that. But we also want it to be a professional setting if that is the case, but we don't want to bring more unwanted attention to that area.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Well, I would advise you to address the church leadership and being a neighbor and try to be good neighbors.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know where to start with that, and when I talked to the planning commission on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
phone, he told me to come and talk.
I think I appreciate you coming, and I think it's a really good thing for any citizen to come talk, regardless. And I think the building and grounds applicant, he's here, and I would suggest after the meeting that you guys have a discussion, and I'd be willing to bet that he's probably very willing to work with you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we want to help the community, and we want to be involved.
Sure,
We also do not want, we have a small child.
sure.
We've had a lot of issues, and
I think good constructive communication with neighbors is probably help a lot of that.
absolutely, I didn't know where to start
You
with that.
you started at the right place.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments on this application? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ronnie Peterson. I live on 3503 Derby Lane. I'm about one house down, or no more than two houses down on Derby Lane. That's 3503 Derby Lane. I have an issue with it to a certain point due to the fact that they are parking in the road. When you get ready to turn off of Gregg Avenue, they're parking on the right-hand side of the road, which is the side that you have to come down on. And so it's been times I've been wanting to stop and say something. It's been times I wanted to put notes on the window,
Yes, sir.
but I haven't done it. But they're parking in the road. So I'm concerned about the amount of space. I noticed they have increased their parking lot so that they can park over there. But if they would just start parking over there on that property instead of being in the public road, it would be a great blessing in the community.
Yes, sir. Thank you for speaking tonight. Any other comments? I'll let the applicant, sir, if you want to come address his comment on the parking, is that something that you're willing to work with him?
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with him on that issue and with anybody else. The adjacent property across the street has been vacant for a very long time. I understand that it has been sold, and I saw people when I was at the church just this afternoon over there looking like they're going to do something with that property, which means it may be put back into use again. We're always happy to talk with the neighbors about parking arrangements. We do have adequate parking on the site. It's just more convenient to park in front, so if there's something about not doing that, we'll be
Well,
fine with
I think
complying
it
with
would be
that.
good
And,
for the neighborhood if you could make that announcement in church and
upgrade of the convenience of the parking facilities is part of the project we're undertaking right now.
good. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, we'd be happy to talk with any of the neighbors.
After the
anytime.
meeting, you can talk to whoever you wish to talk to. Thank you. Any other comments? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 25-60008, rezone request for tax parcel 087-20-02-005, current zoning RS15, proposed zoning LP, I make a motion that we move to city council for approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Clarkson. Then a second? Anybody got a second?
Second.
Caleb, good man. Okay, discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. And this motion passes unanimously. Item E. This is application number 25-60009. It's a rezone request for two tax parcels number 104-84-02-002 and 104-84-02-003. This is Rose Hill over on Greenville Street, 215 and 221 Greenville Street. They're currently under the limited professional zoning and looking to change to the proposed zoning of downtown business. This is in the historic overlay, and some of this did have purview from the Design Review Board meeting the other night on May 6th. Is the applicant here tonight to discuss this application?
Good evening. My name is Chris Jackson, 987 Reese Street in Athens, Georgia. And thank you guys for having us tonight. I'm here representing the group of folks who are trying to buy this property and invest in a redevelopment of the site. I say redevelopment, I'll give you kind of just an overview of the vision. This is early in the stages. We realized pretty quickly we needed a different zoning classification to enact our vision of the property. And it relates to basically preservation project being the baseline standard for the project vision. We want to take this beautiful grounds and house and outbuildings and preserve them, but bring in a new use that can support it financially. And this is a long-term project for these folks. So we're looking at a restaurant use in the main house on the ground floor. And we realized pretty quickly that we were limited by the current zoning as a B&B with up to only 10 units with all the exceptions that are currently in place. And so we spoke with staff and the city office that we worked with, planning office, I guess, that helped us kind of figure out what zoning we should be looking at for the use. You guys are the planning commission. I wasn't there in that meeting. Anyway, it was pretty evident that this made the most sense. And one thing that it does is it does add an overlay, as the report is very clear on. We would be restricted to the most restricted version of any item. This would go through DRB for anything. And that we have not submitted any drawings. We have not done conceptual plans, but I'll tell you the vision is preservation. So we're not planning on demolishing buildings, building parking decks and hotels. So that's kind of where we are. If you have questions for me, happy to help.
Any questions for the applicant specifically?
Primarily that of a inn and restaurant?
It is, and I think the linchpin for making this work is having a restaurant operator on the property that can service the public who are not just staying on the property.
And do you have any, in terms of, I know in our previous work session, they said the present restriction is a 10 unit, which is limited with the cottages and all of that. Do you have any idea of how many units y'all are considering?
We're thinking between 20 and 24 units is the max, and that is a little bit flexible in terms of, so we're gonna do it all within existing buildings, right? But for instance, there's a house at the northeast corner of the property that's about a 4-bedroom house, maybe give or take a few square feet, but that would be available for rent as a full house or as individual units. We're talking about shorter term stays.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
Well, I just applaud the owners or future owners. It's a very important property in our downtown, and I would like to see it prosper for sure. So I wish them the best of luck.
Thank you, and we're excited to work on it. This is kind of the very first step to really digging our heels in.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Anybody here speak in favor of this application? Anybody against this application? Yes, sir. Step up to the podium if you don't mind.
So my name's Jerry Prendergast. I live at 253 Florence Street Northwest, so that's right at the north end in the west corner
Okay,
where Florence and Edgefield meet.
gotcha.
And my only question has to do with that north end. You know, in the past, there's been like a restaurant there as well and music being played, which I haven't had a problem with. My only question about moving to the downtown business is whether that really changes the hours that we're talking, that you could have, say, music playing much later into the night or anything like that.
Probably the opposite.
Well, actually, I want to say it may be an hour later. I'm running off of memory right now, but I think that's what the noise ordinance says.
Yeah, and I don't really remember like how late they've gone in the past.
Yeah. And you might want to check with the applicant. They may have some changes as to where the actual location of that restaurant is going to be. So
Yeah,
that may resolve that.
What he was saying that really wasn't going to be an issue, but I just wanted to express that question
Sure.
and concern about it.
I think if y'all get together after the meeting or whenever, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's good you voice your concern because you are going to be neighbors. I mean, and so it's important that they understand that, so they design it accordingly, so it doesn't disrupt your quality of life.
I think presently it's 10:30 or 11 o'clock. It's not 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right. That's really what I was thinking.
Yeah.
about.
Just
Will this shift to 2 o'clock in the morning? And
no, I just pulled it on the city's website. It is 11 p.m. for downtown business.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But
There you go.
also, I guess when they do have plans, they'll be going before the design review, DRB review board. And then you'll have plenty of opportunity at that time to get, when it's more specifics on where buildings will be and what the uses will be, you can then comment at that time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your comments. Any other comments on this application? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
For application number 25-60009, rezone request for tax parcels 104-84-02-002 and 104-84-02-003. For the current zoning is limited professional, and they want to request proposed zoning of downtown business. I say we pass it to city council for approval.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Erb. Who seconded? Carson? Okay, discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. And it passes unanimously. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Item F. This is application number 25-22004. This is a sign ordinance waiver. The Village Town Center Apartments LLC is requesting a waiver for signage at Parkside at the Village Apartments at 176 Village Green Boulevard. Specifically, the applicant is requesting a waiver to the sign ordinance restriction in section 4.4.7C, limiting freestanding sign size. Is the applicant here tonight to speak on behalf of this? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Hello.
Diana Peters. I live at 45 Savannah River Place in North Augusta.
Okay.
And I work for the company that has developed the
All right.
Parkside Apartments.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks. This waiver, when we were looking at the building on where to put signage, and we're trying to decide where to put signage on the back side, the way that the two wings of the building come to the back would have been sort of overkill. We would had to have done it on each wing to be symmetrical. There was already existing this brick wall. It has 3 12-foot wide by about 6-foot high sections, so we just thought the wall was already there. We could put it in the center section of that wall and just have a little bit of decoration back there and have something that identifies the property on the back side.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, anybody here speak in favor or against this application? Comments? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 25-22004, sign ordinance waiver, I make a motion that we move to city council for approval.
All right, thank you, Clayton.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Messina. Discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. And this passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. We are up to item G and H of the agenda. This is application number 25-60010, a rezone, and application number 25-2300 for a concept plan. This is for tax parcel number 106-12-06-002. This is located on 1725 Whiskey Road. They are currently under general business and coming into rezoning into planned commercial. This is where the old Zaxby's was located, across the street from Odell Weeks. And a new Freddy's restaurant is coming into the property. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this tonight? Okay, anybody to speak for this application? Anybody against this application? Any comments? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, just a question. How do we, with no one here present, how do we bring up and have answered the questions that we have?
Well, you could do one of two things. You could list whatever conditions you want. They're not here to argue it.
Right.
And they'll have to abide by it.
Sounds good.
I want free food.
Now,
Okay,
now.
that's all I need.
I mean, they're not here, so I think it's within our purview to list any conditions that you have concerns with, or deny it.
Well, my concern, Mr. Chairman, is the sign.
Let's make a motion first,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and then we can get into discussion just to keep with protocol, if you don't mind.
I guess I'll keep yakking then. For application number 25-60010, rezone, and application number 25-23004, concept plan. Current zoning is general business, proposed zoning is PC, planned commercial. I say we pass to city council for approval with the conditions 1 through 6, adding number 7 to the condition that there is an existing pole for the sign. I would like to see that a monument sign with 11-foot maximum, 11-foot high, maximum of 50 square feet. And I think everything else was the dumpsters being brought up to code, and everything else is fine. So that is my,
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner
Second.
Erb. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Clayton. All right, now discussion. Commissioner Erb, if you want to just address any other
Well-
comments, I think you covered it in that
yeah,
one.
there's the old existing sign was on a pole, and it's a metal pole. I just don't like to see poles. I'd rather see a nice monument sign.
Okay,
It would bring it up to, purdy it up a little bit. I like their plan. I like them adding the shrubs on either side of that signage, so
Okay.
I think that says it all there.
okay.
They are reducing the right turn only exit on Whiskey Road. It's a safety measure. I think I'm in agreement with that too.
Great. Further discussion? Okay. All those in favor, raise your hand. And it passes unanimously. Okay, item I and J of our agenda. This is application number 25-20027, an annexation. And number 25-22003 is a concept plan. This is tax parcels numbers 136-09-03-008 and 136-09-03-010. This is over on Wire Road and Explorer Trail. They're currently in the county under rural development, and will be coming into the city under planned residential. This is a 188 lot townhome, single-family development on just shy of 30 acres. Is the applicant here tonight to speak on behalf? Yes. Come on up.
is Joseph Galino, 7009 Evanstown Center Boulevard, Evans, Georgia. We are presenting, are we talking about both the concept plan and the annexation? Okay.
All together, yes, sir. This is
Okay.
one application.
As far as the annexation, we're requesting annexation in because we are utilizing Aiken City utilities. We are utilizing the water line as well as running the sewer to a lift station, which will tie into the school. I've had conversation with Aiken County School, and we're working all the logistics out with that, but they don't have an issue with us tying in to that lift station that is on their property. We will have to possibly upgrade it or whatever needs to be done. We'll take all of that up with the school district itself. As far as the plan itself, we are proposing 188 units. The first section should have around 60 to 65 units first. We'll be putting that in. As far as going through, we've are under the density for that zoning that we're requesting. I think that density says 12 units per acre. We're at 6.4. We are proposing enough of open space that meets that zoning. We will have some active open space and some passive open space. The active open space, we haven't decided on full amenities yet. We do know that may be a gathering type place, maybe a pavilion with an area that people can gather. Right now, pickleball seems to be one of the biggest sports. I've put in 3 of those courts already in 3 of my neighborhoods. We'll probably add that. And the goal here would be more for young families possibly. With the school right there, we may add some type of children's play area, swing sets or something to that effect. We haven't fully gone through all of that at this time, but there will be some active area. We are possibly going to look at putting some type of walking trail that will circle, will circle the pond that's there, so to get some activity going on that. We will meet the tree buffers. I think our plan shows you a 25-foot planting strip along Wire Road, undisturbed buffer around the perimeter. Setbacks, we got 21-foot separation between the townhouse buildings. There's a 5-foot common space which will be utilized to allow the interior units to get to their backyard. Otherwise, they have no way to get there except through the house. So if they want to cut their grass, they can come down the split right there, and they can gain access to their backyard. We're proposing 5-foot sidewalks on both sides of the street. Let's see what else we got. I am asking for some waivers on this project. Let's see here. We're showing single-car garages, but we will be providing a parking pad on the interior side. That'll allow for 2 cars to park plus 1 in the garage. So even though there are 1-car driveways, we will be toward the inside. You don't see it per se on the drawing, but it'll be on the inside. We have all garages street-facing. One of those reasons is that marketing has told us people do not like rear entry garages. I have a project that I'm finishing up on Whiskey Road. It's called Danbrook. We designed it that way, but most people are not accepting that because they don't have a backyard. That's where the problem was. So what this allows us to do is provide people with a full backyard, and then they have access to the common space that's between the backs of the units. The landscape medium is approximately 50-foot short. You have a 200-foot regulation. We're asking for a waiver for 150. And the reason that is because it'll affect that 1 unit up in the upper right there. We will heavily plant the medium coming in, and then on either side of that road, we'll have median there. That'll be common space so that no one can gain access from the entry road into those 2 units on either side. So we'll make that a common space, and we'll heavily plant that. I don't know if you have any other questions. One other waiver we're looking for, the garages do extend past the front wall. I know there's a regulation of that. What that does is it allows us to push the garages forward, less impervious surface, and keeps the front door and the unit back a little further off the street.
I appreciate you summarizing that for us.
problem.
I think we have a couple questions, if you'll just
Yeah.
stay up there for us. Have you considered, a question from me, have you considered or did y'all analyze a potential second means of egress coming onto, was that Wire Road right there? You've got a nice big one there, but there's no other, I know you can't come down on the school's property. Have you looked at the design and see if it's possible or per DOT
It
standards?
probably, we're in the process of doing our, our traffic study, but I think if you put another entrance down past where the pond is, it's gonna be too close. The DOT will not allow it. We have talked to, staff and to the fire department regarding the access from there. They're requiring emergency access, so we're gonna put private gate on the top. And at the school, they do not want access, full access,
I
for lack of a
understand.
better
No,
word.
I understand that part.
They'll have a knock box that only the fire department or emergency services can use.
Okay, I'll open it up to the commission. I know we have some questions.
Mr. Chairman, going back on that issue, do you feel you have 188 units using one driveway? I mean, that is a lot of cars, almost, I mean, over 300 cars going out in the morning, 300 cars coming back on one driveway.
Right.
That's, doesn't appear to be acceptable.
Well, according to our preliminary traffic study, they're talking about 100 trips a day in the morning and the afternoon. That was
Peak
a
hour.
preliminary peak hour. We are, like I said, in the middle of a pure traffic study. We're waiting for Jessica Beal to respond back to what we presented. Yeah, it is a good question. I don't think it's going to be that big, that much of an issue. If it is, the traffic will let us know.
Yeah.
When it comes to any more questions about
No, I'm still,
When-
I
when
was
it-
not
Going back.
satisfied only having one
understand.
drive. I could not vote for it.
Go
with
ahead,
one drive.
Clayton.
Yeah, but you mentioned the pads for the driveways. Are you looking just specifically here? Are you looking to extend the entirety of the driveway to two, like the entrance to each driveway to two cars, or
Yeah.
the entrance? Okay, so the whole driveway will be
Whole
extended.
driveway.
Okay,
That's
okay.
my understanding of what is that the whole driveway will extend out.
Oh, okay, understood. Just when you mentioned pad, I just wanted to make sure it's like the extension
I
of the
understand where you're
driveway.
coming from.
Oh, okay.
I understand.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Well, and you said you've requested this exception relating to the garages being moved forward, and you commented that that would in fact limit the impervious surface, but you also want to extend the surface across the front yard to accommodate another car.
Yeah, because you have a requirement that, and Myra, if I say it differently, let me know. Say again? It's 12 foot for the size of the lot, so it needs to be bigger. You are right, we are extending more impervious surface, but we're leaving it closer to the street, so it's less going back. If I did and met the other requirement where they're all the same, you'd still have that two-car driveway going further back.
And the image, I don't know if that's in terms of your rendition here. Is that on there?
just show it to them.
Yeah, this rendition that you've included in the application,
Yeah.
that's with a single car garage and a single pad.
Yes, it's
So-
just showing the elevation, that's all we were showing.
Right, but if you extend that pad to accommodate a second car, you're gonna have hardly any yard.
Yes, I don't disagree with that, but.
So driving down these roads, you're gonna have a bunch of vehicles on the street, trash cans, all in a straight line. Can you,
I just saying, they're gonna take a 12-foot driveway and possibly make it another 4 or 5 feet, make it 16 feet wide.
I just think that's gonna be a very unattractive, development.
Is the as far as the look of the units, are they different colors? Are they all same?
No, there'll all be different colors, different types of material being used. They're gonna utilize some brick, some stone, some hardy plank on the front. Each one of them is a little bit different, in terms of the color.
So no one unit's gonna look like the one beside it.
No, our plan is not to make all of them the same.
Did you say hardy plank?
Yeah, cement
Okay,
board.
you had vinyl siding
But
down,
that should be on the sides,
vinyl siding on the
on the
side,
sides and on the rear.
hardy plank on the front
On the
and back,
front, as an accent, yeah.
back,
Excuse me, sir?
back.
It'll be vinyl siding.
He's just putting the fancy stuff in the front door.
What's the price point for these units?
That I don't know off the top of my head. They are supposed to be small, less expensive for attainable, affordable type housing is what we're trying to put in there.
Which would be, I mean, you do these all the time. We see
250.
you all the time.
Around 250, maybe a little bit more depending on the interiors.
And you mentioned you've had conversations with the Aiken County School Board
Yes, sir.
as far as the road, but also to have easement for your sewer. And have you had preliminary and where are you at in that discussion?
We have a preliminary layout from from our lift station going to their lift station. Right now, it's still being engineered out to try to get it.
They seem agreeable to let you tie onto their pump station?
Excuse me, sir?
They seem agreeable to
I
let
have
you.
a letter from, I
Okay.
can't think of his name off the top of my head, but yes, we have communication.
Okay,
I can tie into their system.
okay.
I presume on the annexation part that there's already existing city utilities there?
There are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, do you have anything in writing from the Board of Education concerning your emergency access out to Explorer Trail?
I don't have anything in writing. I don't think off the top of my head. I do think I got something from planning staff. I could be wrong, that asked that would not be a full access. The fire department is actually the one requiring us not to have a full access.
So
on
your your access will be onto and crossing Board of Education property.
Yes.
You'd have to get something from the Board of
Oh,
Education.
yeah, I understand.
Giving
what
you
you're
an easement.
Yes,
to do that.
we will get that. I don't have that easement at this time. We're all
It's
working.
discussions with them about it?
Yes, we have. I've had discussions based on what the fire department and emergency services, I have presented it to the school. The school also does not prefer full access.
I can understand
or
that.
private access.
I can understand that.
Has the schools requested any kind of fencing or
Not that I know of.
separation?
Not yet. No.
I have a question. If we accept this, are we agreeing to these waivers
You,
as requested?
it's up to you.
It's up to you. They can be striked if you.
And sir, you're aware that in this application, the Engineering and Public Utilities Department have stated that all sewer capacity will be subject to approval by the Aiken County Horse Creek Pollution.
Yes.
You understand that that's your risk?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Any other questions for the applicant? At this time, I'll open it up to the public. Okay, thank you, sir.
You got it.
Anybody else to speak in favor of this? Anybody here to speak against this application? Okay, yes, sir, you right here in the front row.
Thank y'all. My name is Alan Ferraro. I live at 236 Wire Road. It is right across the street from their entrance there.
Okay.
I'm the property owner there. I have a couple concerns. Number one, what they're not showing you here where this entrance is, and then it's the only entrance, which like you said, there's gonna be a lot of traffic coming out in and out of there. But what they're not showing you on this map is the hard turn up above coming around. I've had cars come through there very fast and end up in my yard. So that being said, if you've got traffic going pretty fast, there's gonna be some collisions there, there's gonna be some fatalities there. And I don't think anybody's thought of that yet.
Well, okay.
That the entrance needs to be moved at least. It's still gonna be a little dangerous down here at the bottom, I believe. But
Right.
It's gonna be a lot better.
Right, I understand what
It
you're saying.
needs to be addressed seriously before somebody gets hurt.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know if you've all been on Wire Road, but right above there is a sharp turn. It's blind.
So it goes I guess,
Yeah,
that
it's
way?
hard right. Also, if people are turning
I see
in
it.
left here, they're gonna have to stop to wait for traffic to come in. That's gonna back traffic up even more. I'm not even gonna be able to get out of my yard at certain times of the day.
All right.
Okay. My other concern is, I'm zoned residential and been trying with the county to get it rezoned commercial. I've been having some trouble with them. I'm just saying, if you do pass this, I would hope that I can get the same recognition and consideration from y'all.
We're city planning. The county of Aiken has their own planning commission.
They were saying I could annex in as well.
You can, you certainly can, and if you annex,
Consideration.
yes, sir. If you annex in, then you'll get the same consideration as anybody else being annexed in with the city. Assuming that you abide by the codes and the rules and things, unless you need a special exception or something like that. But yes, sir, to answer your question, this would be the place you would come.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for speaking. I think there's somebody over here raise their hand first. Yes, ma'am, right here in the front, the young lady right here.
Hi, my name is Nancy White. I live at 1159 Wire Road, so I'm just up Wire Road from this development. My neighbor, Pat, is the property right on the other side of Explorer Trail.
Okay.
And I'm just on the other side of her.
Okay.
So again, this is a rural area, Wire Road, Aiken County. It's horses, I have horses. These are farming area. It's a farming area. It's quiet. It's peaceful. And this kind of blindsided us. There's a little sign in front of the property. My neighbor luckily got a letter from you guys. I didn't get anything. I work in architecture, so I'm familiar with planning. There's been no traffic study. Wire Road, I have to go across Wire Road to get to my mailbox. And I can't, most of the times of the day, I can't even run across. I run across Wire Road. So we are facing a significant change in the value of our properties and the quality of our lives there. There will, with these people, Pat can hear. You can hear from her. She has the pump station, by the way, right behind her house, which is this little tiny pump station. And I don't know how a community of 188 townhomes is going to be a part of that little pump station. Like, there's just so many things that just don't seem very thought out here. It seems extraordinarily dangerous for the people who live in this community if they have young children. On Wire Road, as this gentleman said, it's on that blind curve right before Newbridge Road goes off. The density, the noise, the disruption to our property and our property values is pretty extraordinary. And, I'm just really disappointed in Aiken. It just feels like we're losing green space everywhere we turn. And, we had a nice, quiet little community out there. All the neighbors are here to speak against this. And, again, we feel like we've been blindsided by something that's just a sign goes up and it's a done deal. And we all feel like, oh, well, it's a done deal. And, wow, that's a lot to take in. Again, they're not even going to be, as far as I can understand, they're not going to be owner-occupied buildings. These are rental units. They're low-income rental units. So I think they're investor-owned, not owner-occupied, which changes the tenor of the entire development. Just a lot of questions.
Let me just address, the one reason you didn't get a letter is because your property is not contiguous to this property. You have to be contiguous to the property under review, so that's why you didn't get a letter. So I just want to make sure that's clear.
It's not contiguous, but it's right across the.
I understand, but we can't give letters to everybody all over the town when something, and so I just want to address that. Number two, I'll let the applicant react to any of these questions after people speak on some of the concerns, but I did want to make sure that everybody knew that this application is under review by our commission tonight to recommend one way or the other to go to city council for approval. So city council has final approval over this. Okay. If we vote it through tonight, it's not a done deal. It has to go through 2 readings of city council. Okay. So, and those will occur over the next few weeks, month. And so I do want y'all to understand the process that it's going to take a minute to get through 2 readings of city council to be final approved. But he's well within his right to buy a property out there.
Sure.
Anybody is.
Absolutely.
And
If
so
he doesn't, someone will.
Oh,
the thing is, we're getting more and more applications on this commission every year. We're getting more and more housing applications in Aiken County. Okay, Aiken is a great place to live. People want to live here. They're moving. They're coming. These folks are here. They're coming. And so we're getting more and more of these. So you're going to see more and more
Pressure.
correct, moving away from the city out into the country. And so, we tell people there's, you can band together with your neighborhoods and buy property up to keep your quality of life, but people within their right. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this application, but I'm just telling you, they're within their right to buy these and develop them. Now, whether or not we approve them or not, based on the features.
Yeah, I think the only disagreement I have there is that it feels to me like the city or the county has an obligation to its current citizens to not just totally demolish their property values. And, if you, again, I have a master's degree from Savannah College of Art and Design and Urban Planning. And if you don't require developers to present you with good ideas, with all the thought, the planning studies, I lived in Beaufort where Hilton Head and Sun City was all, came in. And we saw what happened there. And the developers will pay for all of these things, schools and water and sewer and police and fire. They have to pay for it over there. So in Aiken County, it feels like they're just coming in and going, woohoo, there are no guardrails here. We are just free. We're just, yes, a nod and a wink, and away we go.
Okay, well, I don't know if I agree with you on that, and I'm not going to get into the weeds of county and city matters and that. We're voting on this application, but I do understand your concern.
You gotta be careful.
Sure. Okay, thank you for speaking. Yes, sir, in the hat right here.
Okay, sir. My name is Ed Wilson. I own Georgia Carolina Bell Bonds, which is at 245 Wire Road.
Okay.
I also own 199 Wire Road.
All right.
239 Wire Road, which this complex is going to be put right in the middle of 199 and 239.
Okay.
Okay. We have a major problem with a lot of traffic coming through there, especially coming from Interstate 20 into Wire Road and things of that nature. There's little speed limits there. Nobody enforces them, but that's sure there. The thing is these people, when they top that hill at Wire Road by my business, okay, they're doing 80 miles per hour at least, and it's going to be the same way all the way down. In addition to that, there's, like I said, I own the 199 and 239 and 245, and the elementary school right there. That complex is going all the way up to the elementary school, as far as my understanding. Okay, there are going to be sewage problems, water problems with not only the elementary school but with us and not Breezy Hill, but what's his name? Mount Morenci. They supply the water out there, and is it basically, are they going to be equipped enough to supply this facility plus all the other facilities?
Sir, if I could interrupt you for just a second to comment on that. We just pause this time. They are going to be required, and this is in the application, all sewer capacity will be subject to approval by the Aiken County Horse Creek Pollution Control Facility Public Service Authority and South Carolina Department of Environmental Services. They're not guaranteed capacity for sewer. Also, all water and sanitary sewer infrastructure must conform to South Carolina Department of Environmental Services regulations and City of Aiken standards. So these guys are going to have to abide by the law for any utilities, sewer, water, and storm. They have to maintain their own storm water. They cannot legally run storm water on adjacent properties. They can't just willy-nilly throw sewer out there. They have to abide by the codes of the city and the state of South Carolina and any federal things. So I just want to make that comment on that.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to make sure you were aware of that. You proceed.
That's fine. Okay. How about the power source? The power source, is it going to be overhead, underground? The road on Wire Road is very narrow, first of all, okay? And with all this 100 and some traffic or 200 traffic coming through there, they're gonna put up any type of red lights? They're gonna extend the road any? It's problems right now for me and my people to get out of our 245 onto Wire Road, okay? So the traffic problems is going to be one of the major issues.
Sure.
And again, the electrical is, if it's going to be overhead, underground.
We don't have that information right now.
Yes, sir. Okay. And background, I ain't going to worry about that. The school. Now, another thing is the 199 Wire Road that I own. Are they going to put a privacy fence around? I would suggest if this is approved tonight, hopefully it ain't, but if it is, then they should make sure they put a privacy fence around there and around the 239 area also, at least an 8-foot fence to, keep the traffic out. Now, you also have a lot of deers and other animals out there that comes to the 199 Wire Road every morning, basically. They got deer standing in the field there by the 199. And, you got animals that's living in that area, okay? So I suggest that, they take all that in consideration prior to approving this or disapproving it or whatever. But, they need to check the traffic flow. Has anybody done a traffic study out there?
They're going to be required to.
Okay. Because, like I said, they could top that hill there by that church in my business at 80, 90 miles per hour. And if they're coming down through my area at that rate of speed, by the time they get down in this area, it's going to be 85, 90 miles per hour. I'm sorry, I'm a former police officer, but that's
Sure.
here or there. But I suggest they do a traffic study on all that area, all right? And, it's going to be hard for these people to get out of that complex onto Wire Road if they don't extend out to Wire Road.
Sure. Understood.
That's it, sir.
Thank you for speaking
Thank
tonight.
you.
I appreciate that. Yep, we have one over here. Yes, sir. In the blue shirt. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name's Will Tracy. I'm at a unique lot on 143 Wire Road and 356 Jaws Lane.
Okay.
And I don't want to get into the weeds about personal rights, property rights, or any of that. But traffic is an enormous issue here, because what no one's mentioned today is you've already authorized, I believe, bus parking down at the elementary and North Elementary and mid school for all the Aiken buses. Somewhere near 160 to 180 buses a day are going to be parked presently, when it's developed. And that's going up Jaws Lane and down Wire Road. And if you try and come out from the elementary school now on Wire Road in the morning, it's impossible. You can't get on that street. You can't get on Jaws Lane. You have to wait with the buses making turns. The same thing with all the private traffic that drops the kids off at school. It's obscene. I mean, it's real. But I don't think anyone's taking these numbers into effect. And if I look at the traffic studies that are here, it's nonsense. 100 more trips a day? Baloney.
Trips an hour.
An hour. Okay, it's between peak 7 and 9.
That's correct.
4 and 6.
That's correct.
That place is a madhouse. And you already have an inordinate amount of accidents at the corner of Wire Road and Rudy Mason. Go check public safety. Tell me how many knockups they have there every day. And it's just too much for what's going on presently. That road isn't designed. There's no street light all the way from 20 maybe to Rudy Mason Parkway on Wire Road. So people are just humming to get to work and get home. And then you add the school traffic, and if you're going to put 186 units there, you won't make it. There'll be fender benders, there'll be traffic incidents, there'll be noise. The litter on Wire Road is already getting out of hand. People tossing. It's just not, it's not going to be good for the city or the town.
Appreciate you.
My say.
Appreciate you speaking up. Anybody else to speak again? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Carolyn McGovern. My husband and I, James, purchased a property at 110 New Bridge Road, and we have frontage on Wire Road right near this property. I'm very concerned about the density, just like everybody else. It's just going to destroy the character of that neighborhood. It's poorly zoned now, and we throw in another 180 units in there. It just doesn't really match anything that's there now, and I don't think it's an improvement to that neighborhood. The density is disturbing for that area. We are a pretty big county. I'm not sure I understand why we need 180 units right there when there are many other places for this.
Because those neighbors will come complain just like you do when it comes to their backyard.
Yeah. Further, from the description I've seen of these units, this is really ugly. Sorry to be so blunt, but I've seen this type of development happen. Those long straight roads and the way they have the parking established, it's going to be a really ugly, crowded little area, and it will not profit the Aiken County or the city of Aiken. It's supposed to be, the best small town, and that doesn't meet any standard that we've tried to have here in this beautiful place. I just don't think it does anything for the area.
Thank you for speaking. Yes, put your hand up there. I'm sorry, I can't see. Hello.
My name's Tanya Goff, and I live on Osborne Drive, and so the property will back up. I'm on the top left corner.
All right.
There. My main concern is we have some water issues.
I'm sorry?
We have some water issues, some drainage issues, and I would just like to know eventually where all the water is going to be going on this property, because we already have our neighbors are down from us that kind of live in a hole, and they have a huge ditch that already goes.
You see on that big white square on the right side of the road?
On the right side.
On the right, there's a big square right there. It's called
that pond.
Yes, ma'am. That's where all his stormwater legally has to go.
Okay.
He cannot dump stormwater off that property.
That property.
No, ma'am.
And so, okay, I saw that on there, but I wasn't sure.
Any
where.
any development in this county or city has to maintain their own stormwater by law.
Okay. And I guess the last question, it said something about is it a 10 to 15 foot buffer from residential property?
10.
10.
And so it'll
25 in
what
the
they're
front.
looking at there is like a 10-foot buffer in that on our back up behind us.
From where you're at?
Yeah.
I think it's 25.
Oh, is it going to be 25? Okay. All right. Well, those were my main questions that I had for mine.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, anybody else? Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you.
I'm Ray Jackson. I live at 190 Wire Road. Not contiguous, but I did get a letter. And that's how most of my neighbors found out about this project. I bought my little farm in 1984, and the changes that I have seen there over the last 40 years have been amazing. And Wire Road is not going to support the amount of traffic that's going to be generated and you've heard it from all the other neighbors. The site that they have in the planned entrance is just not good enough, as Mr. Wilson had said. Now, if this guy wanted to build on a couple acre lots, some nice housing in there, I think that would be more appropriate. But we don't want to see our property values reduced, and I think this project is just more than what we need there on Wire Road. So.
Okay, thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate your time. Anybody else against? Yes, ma'am.
My name's Pat Kahn. I live at 187 Wire Road. That's from Wire. They'll be my neighbors all the way up to the driveway out.
Okay.
And my main concern is the sewer, because the existing one now is like the length of this room from my house. And when it's at capacity, sometimes it's so loud it sounds like a jet plane landing. I even had a guest at my farm ask me if I had an airport behind me. And when it does get overwhelmed and alarms go off, and this is a quiet little 9-acre farm back there, and if they do make a bigger one, that doesn't guarantee it'll be a quieter one.
Sure.
Or a less stinky one. And I think I won't be able to sell my home if they put that in. I was wondering if, with that many people, maybe they could have their own pump station there. And
I can't answer that. I don't know.
yeah.
But
And
I understand.
also, I have to wait until it's dark out to get my mail. I can't get across the road because I can't run anymore.
I
And-
got you.
Yeah.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for speaking tonight. Anybody else against this application? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Todd Goff. I'm married to Tanya, but I mean, I guess I'm a little selfish. As the lady spoke about the losing green space or whatever, I mean, I'm feeding deer across my fence. You know, we watch deer, fox, and everything else. They're going to be gone. They have nowhere to go. I mean, once that goes in, there's nowhere for them to go. But so, I mean, we're going to lose a lot of green space that I think would be more beneficial than row houses. The gentleman also mentioned recreation areas, common areas. I don't see any of that on the plans or anything. I mean, the only green space I see is out here on Wire Road, and I would hope he wouldn't plan on putting that stuff on Wire Road as bad as the traffic is. Plus, you know, Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday mornings, you got the Walk of Shame, you know, going back towards town whenever the jail has their little release in the mornings, you know, from the tank. So they're going to have all that to deal with too. So just want to get a point in.
I appreciate you speaking. Any other, those against this application? Any other comments? Does the applicant want to address any of these issues that were brought up? I'll give you an opportunity to speak on those. Yes.
I appreciate the opportunity. The plan you're looking at is a concept plan. We haven't engineered everything. You've mentioned traffic. Everybody here's mentioned traffic. I am paying over $20,000 to have the traffic studied. Right now, we're waiting for one of the engineers to get back to us on some other protocols that she would want. I believe it's your Aiken City. Jessica's, yeah, we're waiting on some preliminary stuff from her. Once we do that, we abide by what that traffic study says. It's in the conditions that I have to provide it, and it has to be approved by you. Now, I did see the one gentleman talked about Wire Road. I'm not a traffic engineer, so I can't tell what will go on that road. Neither can my civil until we get the traffic study. My educated guess would be there'll be a left-hand turn coming up Wire Road, probably like a suicide lane, which means I'll have to extend the road one way or the other, probably more onto my property. There may be a right-hand turn coming in. there may be an Excel lane going out. I don't know at this time. So as far as the traffic, I understand, but it also seems that there's an existing problem on Wire Road, and I have driven Wire Road. I do live in this area. So, I mean, I'm not contributing to the speeding. I know I'm putting more cars on the road. As far as this young lady said about rentals, these are not rentals. These will be owner occupied. Now, I cannot stop somebody from buying one and renting it, of course. I have single-family developments, which people do buy homes and rent them out. There's nothing I can do about that. But our goal is to try to get them. We're not an investment company which rents houses out. That we do not do. As far as powers, the gentleman, thank you for your service. When mentioned power. Power in this development will be underground. I don't know what the power coming to it is off the top of my head. Our density is below what your zoning is requiring. As far as the sewer, ma'am, I'm not sure where your sewer was. Sewer pump house, she's talking. Where's your pump house? Because we're tying into one that.
Sir, I just, so
yeah.
we could keep it the
I
microphone.
understand. I'm just trying to help.
I understand.
We are tying in. Mine is right up by the pool. It'll go into the school one. I
Right.
don't know if that's the one she was referring to.
That's probably the one she's talking about.
I will have to probably upgrade that. You may have some older equipment in there that
Sure.
will be changed.
Sure.
I'll have
I don't
to
think
do
the
what I'm
pump
doing.
station is going away regardless, whether they build or not.
You got no choice.
I mean,
It's gonna
so
be
we
there,
understand that.
whether I'm there or not. As far as the drainage, another young lady mentioned drainage. Your drainage comes from up in that upper left corner straight down through. So we will be handling a lot of that drainage that is actually there now, and we'll be diverting it into that pond. We're not draining onto anybody.
Sure. No, we understand. I made that clear.
Okay, but we are in the process of engineering this.
Sure. We understand that. We understand. This is the first time most of these people have seen it.
I understand.
and
I'm sorry that
their-
they didn't get
their neighbor.
anything or anything.
This is no different than any other development that
I
you've
got
been
you.
through here.
I've been a couple of times.
We understand that. We don't work for the police department, so we don't sit out there with our radars and I've been on Wire Road a lot too. I've hunted a lot of deer on Wire Road. So I appreciate the openness and the country feel that you guys have. I certainly respect that. But at the end of the day, this is a schematic drawing. This is the early stages of the project. As I stated before, these have to go through city planning readings twice in 2 separate meetings. And regardless, they are bound by law to comply with any design regulations that they have to regarding water, sewer, and storm. Now, as far as privacy fences, he mentioned a privacy fence. Is that something you'd be willing to consider?
Yeah.
Around these property?
Either around I believe that they may do privacy fences, which we would do more shadow boxes around the actual units themselves.
I got you.
Not so much on the green space.
I got you.
Our goal would be not to disturb. All that you see in green is green
Sure,
space.
understood.
So we
Leave
try
it
to
as
keep
buffer.
that as natural as I can.
Understood.
But I'm willing to work with the planning on.
Okay. I think that answers the questions that we had. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
So, Commission, you have another, you've spoken tonight, so. I understand, but we've heard everybody's complaints. We understand. We've got a lot of applications tonight. We're gonna consider this as a motion and discuss it, okay? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 25-0027 annexation and number 22003 concept plan, tax parcel 136-09-03-008 and 136-09-03-10. Location Wire Roads, current zoning RUD, county proposed city PR. Chairman, I'd like to recommend that the planning commission send a request to the city council to deny this application. And I have various conditions we can discuss. And
Okay, so there's the motion is to deny this application to go to city council. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Commissioner Erb. Thank you. Okay. I'll open it up to discussion to the panel. Pete, you made the motion, so
Yeah, thank
I'll
you.
give you the floor.
Thank you. Yes, I feel the application is very premature, there's so many outstanding questions. The traffic is a major issue here. The applicant has not prepared the traffic study has not been finalized, which could dramatically impact the site. I feel it's imperative that there be 2 access points at this location. But going back to the basic thing, he's looking for PR zoning. The intent of the planned residential zone is it's a planning tool to come up with something very creative. If the applicant comes with something creative, the city council could approve up to 12 units per acre, but no entitlement to that 12 units per acre. It has to be with an attractive, creative plan. The PR ordinance also states that the clustering development sites as to preserve natural or historic features and provide usable common space. I don't see any clustering. This is purely jamming as much as you can and very, very, very engineered straight lines. It's not a creative plan, not worthy of a planned residential zoning. The design of the buildings and structures must be, as number D in the ordinance, design of building and structures that are appropriate and compatible with surrounding development. This development is not compatible and appropriate for this area. It's too dense, too much traffic, 1 access point, not well thought through. Those are my issues. You're looking for an access point through someone else's property, but you have nothing from that other person, Board of Education, that allows you to do that. You have to have that before you come here. The main thing also is, well, the overall design is my problem.
Okay.
I would agree with everything he just stated. I mean, I do have a degree in regional and urban planning, and this is like the example of what makes a horrible development that they would utilize.
Probably do the same thing.
You know, I mean, this is Exhibit A to what you're not supposed to be doing
At a planned residential.
in a planned residential community, and I think it is only going to be a blight on that area if it goes through. I think it is also way too premature. The developer can't answer many of the questions. His own application asks for multiple concessions, all of which, if we disagreed with, would completely require the reworking of this concept plan. I would not have. My vote would have been to deny all of those waivers that he's requested, which would then make this obsolete. You know, not workable at all. So I agree wholeheartedly.
I understand. Okay, thanks,
premature.
Commissioner Connor. Commissioner, have you made a second? You have any comments?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Aiken is growing. There's no doubt about that. Do we want this kind of growth? No, not necessarily. I think it's not in keeping. I agree if it could be acre lots with nice homes, nice roads, streetscapes, that kind of thing. So that's why I voted like I did.
Okay. Any other discussion? Commissioner Clarkson, you good? Okay. Yeah, just to echo these guys, the growth is here. It's coming. We can't stop it. We cannot stop it. We can't control, this commission can't control some of the issues that you spoke of, like traffic now, speeding, near fatalities. I would encourage you guys, instead of waiting for an application that could affect your property values and quality of life, to come to the city, to be more vocal to the city about these type things. They'll listen to you. But Aiken County is a big county, and there's only so many city employees. And if they don't know, they don't live out there and they're not there all the time, and there's not a vocal contingent telling them, hey, we think we have a problem, then they don't know to fix it. And if you're vocal to them and you come up here, and they're friendly people, I promise you, they will listen to you. It doesn't mean that they're going to resolve it. But I would just tell you to not wait for somebody to buy a big piece of property or develop it to come and then let them know. I mean, if you're concerned about traffic now, even if there's not development, just be vocal to your city, and they'll try to help you as best they can. But to that,
And this isn't in the city right now.
this is in the county.
So be vocal to your county.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, they've petitioned to be in the city. They're not.
It's a good point.
Depends on how we
It's a
vote.
big point, Commissioner Connor. But my point is, don't wait for these to come voice your opinions of some of these issues that don't pertain to the development itself.
Sell your farm to a Columbia County developer if you don't want this there.
Yeah, but we've spoken. So with that, there's a motion on the table to deny this annexation and concept plan. Was seconded. If there's no more discussion, all those in favor to deny? And it's unanimous, and this does not pass tonight. Thank you. Folks, before you leave, excuse me, before you leave, not you, sir. This, even though this was denied tonight, this still goes in front of city council. Okay? So this still can be voted to approve. The city council can still vote to approve this over what we decide tonight. Yes, sir.
June, I'll tell you.
My point is, I would encourage all of you to go to the city council and voice your concerns, because if you don't, they could very much vote this through. So I would encourage you to be present. Yes, sir.
June 9th.
Sir. Yes, sir. Sir, we have all kind of people in the county come holler at us all the time.
You can speak.
You can certainly come speak.
That's fine.
No problem.
But I'm just trying to, how do I get to the city council nest?
It's right here.
So show up some morning and say, hey?
No, sir.
No.
June 9th, 7 o'clock.
June 9th, they hold a commission. The city council folks sit up here just like us. These names will be different. And you'll come up, they'll have a work session, which you won't go to, and then you'll come in here just like this, and when they ask for dissension, you will tell them just what you told us tonight. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Okay, we still have several applications tonight, so thank you for telling me that. Okay, we are on, folks, we're trying to conduct business, if you could. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, item K through K and L. That's where we are, right? All right. This is application number 25-60011, a rezone, and number 25-22005, a concept plan, rezone and concept plan approval for tax parcel number 120-10-06-001. This is on Rutland Drive and DuPont Drive Northwest, 19-acre tract. It's currently under city zoning as RS10 residential single family, and they're proposing to come in under planned residential for 192 multifamily dwellings and 8 buildings and a clubhouse. This is located right across the street from Aiken High School. And if the applicant is here, which I believe he is, if you'll come approach and give us a summary of your application.
Thank you. Good evening, Planning Commission. I'm Nate Broman-Folks. I'm Vice President of Development for Taft Mills Group. Taft Mills Group is a real estate development company that specializes in affordable and workforce housing development. We've been doing this for a while now, and the principals of our company have developed over 100 communities, about 5,000 units, and we are active in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. And we are excited to be in Aiken tonight. This is the second time that we have submitted a development application. Last year we had a rezoning approved, but unfortunately we're not awarded the tax credits that we needed to move forward with development. But we love the Aiken area, and we know there is a need for this. And so we are back with a new site and a new plan. And I will talk you through this pretty quickly, but we are proposing 192 units of garden-style apartments. And this will be 3 stories, a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. So we'll be serving a variety of household sizes. This will be affordable for families and households making 60% of the area median income and below. And so in Aiken, that would be a little less than $55,000 for a family of 4. We have provided many amenities on the site. So we will have a clubhouse that will include a community gathering space, a business center, an indoor exercise facility. There will also be a playground, a covered picnic area, walking trails, and a dog park on the site. We will have on-site property management. We have full-time on-site property management that's there every day, as well as maintenance staff. We provide video cameras throughout the site for safety of the residents. And let's see. Oh, we are providing just over the city's requirement for number of parking spaces. The city's requirement is 1.5 spaces per unit. We found that generally speaking, with the family type of deals that we do, we normally only need about 1.25 spaces. So we do think we have more than we need, but it's adequate to meet the needs of our development. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Commissioners, any questions to the applicant?
Rent figures look like, if you know.
It's a little early to say for sure because the rents are based on what is affordable that year for a family household making 60% of the area median income. But I would say on average, we're looking at probably $1,000, a little bit less for the 1 bedrooms, a little bit more for the 3 bedrooms, somewhere in that range today. But when this comes online in 3 years, those numbers may look a little bit different.
Pardon me. My concern was the entrances. You have one on Rutland, you have one on DuPont, correct?
Yes, sir.
We do require a median on the entrances. I'd like to see that on one of the conditions. It just looks nice, you know, with planning and stuff. Trash receptacles, I don't see any of those. You said, I think you would be putting them throughout?
Yes, we would have dumpsters, several dumpsters throughout the site for residents to have easy access to, and would be fine putting in, no concerns putting in medians in the entrances.
Okay.
Do those dumpsters, I just want to make sure we're not, because I know parking was expressed as a concern, even though you're above the minimum threshold. We're not going to be losing parking spaces. I mean, are there going to be designated pads in addition to what we see on
In
the
addition to, yeah, we wouldn't be losing any spaces beyond what we're proposing here.
And these are screen walls
Yes.
around these dumpsters.
It will meet whatever the city's requirements are.
Okay.
I guess question, keeping going back to parking, would you be receptive to adding more parking spaces?
So we don't believe we need more parking spaces. What we try to do is have a good balance between the impervious surface that we are putting down and meeting the needs of the residents. Of course, we want to have a successful community, so we want to provide all the parking that is needed. That being said, if you all require us to do more parking, we're going to do more parking. You know, within the limits that we can do.
Sure, understood.
I mean, I know we'd prefer a little bit more data on that in terms of your studies showing that on average you said it's 1.25 per. What would you say?
Generally speaking, that's what we've found is enough. That's more than enough.
That's 1 car per unit.
That would be 1 1/4 cars per unit. Yeah,
Yeah, regular car and a Mini Cooper, but I mean, that's two.
But I mean, do you have any more specific information or any studies
It
or any
just doesn't-
specific to South Carolina or units within the?
We have done studies on our developments, not in South Carolina and North Carolina, to show that typically what we're asked to provide is more than what we need. And so we're happy to provide any of that information to inform the conversation with you all or with planning staff and council later.
But I'm hearing you're willing to work this plan as best to your ability within the limits of your property and the housing to try to add more parking.
Yes.
Although it might not necessarily be two spots per deal.
That's accurate. Yeah.
You're also aware that I believe in our acceptance or not was the condition about the fire marshal that he commented about the DuPont access will need to be ensured adequate turning radius.
Yes.
I guess that's for the entrant to enter the property. That's a big plus. I mean,
Correct.
that's a big need.
We're happy to agree to that.
Okay. Because we'll just make that another possible condition. Okay.
Again, beating the dead car. In terms of having the studies available, I think it's imperative to have those studies available before it goes to city council, so staff and maybe in planning commission can review that. I assume these are, as-built, communities that have been there for a year, and then you study the parking.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was, I believe we studied 3 or 4 developments. This was a few years ago. But yes, already built, fully moved in, throughout the day, getting readings of how many cars were parked there from the morning until the night. Yeah.
Yeah. How about demographics in terms of how many people per home, per apartment?
We didn't study the number of people per apartment. It was just the number of cars in the parking spaces.
Even with the somewhat affordable, you still need 2 people to be working and to make ends meet. If 2 people are working, 2 people have cars, and
potentially, although there are lots of people making $50,000 that are single parents that would need 3 bedrooms that would only need 1 car. So there's a balance. What we've found is, on average, most of our residents or most of the households that live there don't have 2 cars, but certainly a decent portion of them do. But most of them, I would say, do not.
Also, I just want to state for the record that so far, we've only talked about parking in regards to people who live there. So we're almost like assuming that no one has a friend over. So there's also that to be considered as well.
No, the parking studies that we've done don't look at whether it's residents living there or guests living there. It's just the number of cars.
No, I'm just meaning like we're talking about, an owner might have 1 car. There might be 2 people there with 2 cars. Like, people also have social lives as well. People might come over. So
People's parking, they're not always parked in their house either.
no.
are studies done on weekends where you may have people over?
I'd have to go back and look and see the exact days that were looked at.
You mentioned a willingness to comply with requests. I have an aversion to just saying you need more parking just because we feel like you need more parking. I'd rather it be backed by science. But in terms of, you obviously have ample green space preserved here. Do you have any type of transitional, have y'all utilized any type of transitional structures? I hate to add a bunch of asphalt for no reason if it's not utilized, but at the same time, there are other surfaces that I just didn't know if, in terms of reservation of some space in the event that you needed future parking, that later you may pave, but may stay gravel or may be something else in the interim.
Something else pervious.
Right.
We have looked at doing some more pervious types of surfaces. What we have found is they are not quite as sustainable. They haven't lasted long. So we don't typically do that.
I just didn't know if that was something y'all have used in your other developments.
Not to
May
my knowledge. Yeah.
assuage some of our concerns. That
I'll
may not ever materialize.
I'll check and see if we have. We haven't to my knowledge, but haven't been a part of every one of our developments.
Do y'all keep these long-term?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. So there will be a 30-year affordability restriction on it. We have been developing for about 12 years now and haven't sold a single property we've developed of the over 1,700 units on the ground.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant? I'll open it up to the public for comment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
All right, anybody else in favor of this application? Anybody against this application? Yes, ma'am. Come on up.
Great evening to everyone. LaShawn Ryans, Executive Director, Eyes on Aiken. Good to see everyone.
How are you
this
tonight?
evening. I'm well.
Good.
Totally in favor. Listen, boots on the ground. We need housing, and we need affordable housing. I think with Nate and his team, we can work out the parking situation, but we're definitely seeing daily those who are working and living in their cars and with children in many different instances. So there is a need for the affordable housing where they can be in safe areas, nice areas, well managed. We've had extensive conversation with Nate and his team, and we stand behind them 100%. And whatever you guys are asking for, I'm sure that they will meet that. But we definitely, in this day and time, and we know this is, a ways out, but nevertheless, we need to prepare for war in the time of peace. And at this moment and at this time, we need developments to be coming while we're trying to sustain what's actually happening in the real world day to day with those looking for shelter, looking for decent shelter, and looking for places where their children could be safe. As well as the other part that wasn't mentioned that I love about it is that they're going to be using ground floors for seniors. And so that's another plus that because we have a lot of our senior citizens who are in shelters right now, some not in shelters, some in the woods. And so we have done a lot as it relates to putting them in hotels and trying to get them housing. And it's tough right now to find affordable housing, and we have been fortunate to be able to work with the owners of DuPont Landing, trying to get people from one location to go to the south side where there is affordable housing. And so this is welcomed by us 100%, and we need it desperately. And Nate, we can work out the other stuff, right? Yeah, we'll work out parking, and we'll work out whatever we need to do to adequately provide parking and all of those wonderful things. But guys, we need this. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments tonight and what you do for the city. Any other people in favor? Not in favor? Yes, or you, and then you come on up.
My name is Alex Hendry. I'm a commercial realtor here with Maybaum Commercial in Aiken. I'm the one helping Nate with the project, and I will say too that just to echo what she said, I mean the median price for home right now in Aiken County is $250,000. That is wholly unaffordable for a large portion of the population. I have 2 daughters myself, and I'm not sure I'd want to jump into a $250,000 mortgage right now, and I make decent money, so I can't imagine
One
being
of those townhouses?
No, I'm not going to a townhouse either. So I was kind of thankful that he came before Nate. But this is something that's desperately needed. I mean, you guys are bringing in, Aiken County's bringing in a ton of jobs, SRS. I'm also a partial business owner with a timber dealership. We are the second largest biomass deliverer into the Savannah River site. So we do a ton of work in Aiken County. We put a lot of wood chips into Savannah River site to fuel it. The Savannah River site's adding, I think, 10,000 jobs in the next 5 years. And the Meta plant over there is adding a ton of jobs, and these are the kind of people that need that kind of housing. So,
I appreciate your comments.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know. Yes, ma'am.
Sabina?
You want to come up?
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Sabina Craig, am Director of Neighborhood Services with City of Aiken, and I am here in support of this project. The City of Aiken is in great need of affordable housing. There is shortage of housing. I get many calls daily of people looking for homes here in Aiken. As you know, the Housing Authority demolished Han Village. Their next project is to demolish New Hope in Graniteville. With the Hurricane Helene coming in, that had torn down several homes that displaced people. We have a lot of homeless people here in Aiken that are looking for housing. We're talking about doing the tiny homes that people are against. These people are homeless, they're living in the woods. So doing a affordable housing unit, again, is great need. You're talking about the parking being an issue. If people have 2 or more cars, then, you know, they can afford a home. So having 1 car, they're struggling. So I'm very much in support of this. And again, I'm receiving calls daily for affordable housing. So please, let's pass this project.
Thank you for sharing that information. Okay, anybody else speak in favor of this application? Any of those oppose this application? Yes, sir. Come on up.
Hello, my name's Eric Owens, and my wife and I live at 119 DuPont, which is the residence that's pretty much surrounded
I
by
got
that U
Right.
down at the bottom
Sure.
of DuPont. I'll agree that that Aiken does need affordable housing throughout Aiken. That's not the issue at all. Several of the concerns I have is DuPont Landing is in existence, which is directly off the screen to the left. If this were to come in, that would be another area of affordable housing or lower income housing, rent controlled housing, however you'd like to describe it. One concern as a lifelong resident, generational, my wife and I have had families here for generations. It seems like it's all being clustered into one area. I believe the lady before me had brought up Hans Village. It did get demolished. To me, that seems like that's an area that already has infrastructure in place. It's an area that's already opened. It's already cleared. The lots are easily accessible. This right here, you would have to take away a substantial amount of growth and to build up a large portion of it to bring in the housing. I'd like to speak to the parking issue. It's not necessarily one of my major, but the wetlands is obviously out of bounds. That's a given. It can't go any farther that way. So portions of the area, the stormwater, that's not going to be touched. So the parking would have to come down into the green areas that are supplied. And I agree that the residents would need areas to have nature. There's going to be a lot of nature that's going to be taken away. Our residence is completely surrounded. A portion of it has taken away our entrance to the driveway that we use. That road that you see in between the two residences is a covenant. It wasn't ever really designed to be used as a driveway. And then also, I don't see any of my neighbors here, so I can't speak for them, but I will bring up the fact that we already have illegal foot traffic coming through our yards almost on a daily basis. Our structures have been broken into and burglarized. Our car 2 weeks ago was broken into, and a large manhunt came out with both city and county, and the individual was found down in DuPont Landing, for better or for worse. I hope that individual finds a new path in life. So I would like to bring up that there's no provision in the plans that I've seen. I would like to see, at the very minimum, a 6-foot privacy fence in between the back of our yards and this complex. What's to stop individuals from just meandering through the trees there and walking up the driveway that's already there to go to school or to go wherever? Another quick thing I'd like to bring up: DuPont, it is a high school. That traffic is horrendous in the mornings and in the afternoons. In the mornings, DuPont, if you go out to Rutland, it is a right turn restricted only from certain hours. If residents were to egress out of that complex onto DuPont, they would have to turn right with oncoming student traffic trying to enter into the high school, school buses going back and forth, coming in to drop students off. So there's already an influx of traffic.
Sir, so you get a couple seconds to wrap it up.
And then also I'm assuming that the traffic would be right turn only on to Rutland at that particular time as well. So
Okay.
yeah,
I understand. Not unreasonable request.
Yep, thank you.
Understand. Any other comments on this application? Okay, does the applicant want to respond to any of the concerns the gentleman had? I don't think a privacy fence is an unreasonable request.
No, it's not. We actually have talked with Eyes on Aiken about this previously, and we're happy to work with the residents that are living there to provide a privacy fence or natural screening, whatever their preference is.
Would you be amenable if we move this to city council with a additional condition of adding a privacy fence around the existing neighbors that are there now?
I would. I don't know if that's what all the neighbors want. So I typically like to work with the neighbors to see what kind of screening do they prefer. Do they prefer more bushes, kind of natural screening,
I
or
understand.
fences?
That's a good point.
But I'm happy to. I believe it's 3. 3.
But you're amenable to screening that
Yes.
in some form or fashion.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right. Any other comments?
Oh, one other quick question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I apologize. The residents of this, y'all allow for roommates too, right? Not just families. So if two guys get together, a little bit more economically distressed, they want to come together to rent this, as long as they meet all the requirements, you guys do allow for like roommates?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? All right. I'm going to ask for a motion for these, for the rezone and the concept plan at this time.
I'll second.
Okay. For application number 25-60011, rezone, and application number 25-22005, concept plan, for tax parcel number 120-10-06-001, I say we take this to city council for approval with the possible conditions, 1 through 5, adding, the part about the fire marshal. I think that's of great importance. We need to know where the location of the dumpsters would be. Obviously, that's gonna be part of the plan once this goes forward. The fencing around the neighbors in that horseshoe of some kind, whether it be wood structure or whatever the neighbors would, you know, be agreeable to, or, you know, what would look nice or whatever. But I think that's now parking, you know, obviously that's been an issue here. I would like to see something from your group about that study that y'all did, times that it was done. I mean, just for the doing, there is a need for this. I agree. So, Mr. Chairperson, that's my motion.
Just so before we move on, I want to make sure I have these conditions correct. Number 6, you're adding that DuPont Drive access ensure adequate turning radius per the fire marshal.
Correct.
And the next one was to the applicant to agree to provide a type of privacy fencing agreeable to the surrounding neighbor.
That is correct. On that particular horseshoe,
Okay.
right?
I'm not sure how you describe that.
Again, Denham.
Yeah, we
Oh.
wanted a median too.
And then the divided median.
I'm sorry. Yes, in the divided median.
Wait, I want to make sure Mario gets all this here.
So you're not as concerned about the dumpsters, let that just be part of the review because they're gonna have to supply them anyway.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're not putting that as a
That's correct.
separate
That's
condition.
fine.
That's
Yes.
normal.
Be on the concept plan.
Right. I apologize. I did forget about the median at the entrances. So we got fire marshal, median, privacy fence, and just supply, at least city council will have final say on the, your parking study.
I'd like to see the parking study submitted prior to going to the city council.
Correct. He said he's already had it done, so.
Okay, so there's a motion for, recommend for approval to city council, with the conditions listed 1 through 5, in addition, number 6, to the DuPont Drive ensure adequate turning radius per the fire marshal direction, adding a median at the entrance to be consistent with the other applications that we generally provide, and then add a privacy fence, that's agreeable to the surrounding neighbors on the planned west side of the development. And that's it, right? And that's it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Connor. Thank you. All right. Any further discussion with the commissioners? Good. All right. All those in favor to recommend, raise your hand. And it's unanimous. And it passes. Thank you. Oh, man. All right. Item M and N, application is number 25-60012, rezone, and a number 25-2206, a concept plan for tax parcel number 120-19-02-001. This is on Sunday Avenue and Jake Place, 16 acres. It's currently in the city as residential single family, and they're asking to come in as a planned residential. This is 144 multifamily dwellings and 6 buildings and a clubhouse on a 16-acre parcel. This is very similar to the application we just reviewed. And if the applicant is here tonight, and she is, if you'll come on up and give us a quick summary, and we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you. Hi, Jen Wilkinson, WILKINSON, 1121 Park West Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Thank you, commissioners, for having me here today. Yes, we are the second one coming in this evening, which is great for your city because that doesn't happen very often. So we are bringing this project back again. We brought this back in 2023 and it was approved for rezoning. The application also did not get tax credits, very similar to Nate's just a minute ago. So we're bringing it in again to go for another round for bonds versus a 9% application. It's a little bit different program. Same thing, it's attainable housing. We have gave you guys a PowerPoint presentation talking a little bit about the incomes that will be approved for the residents that live here. We are also long-term owners of our property as well. This property is also located in your priority growth zone, according to your community concentration plan. This is exactly the intent of these properties located in that priority growth zone. You're going to encourage development in larger populations to meet the the comp plan needs in that area. It allows for higher density, need for affordable workforce housing, and of course our utilities are already at the site, so we will not have to make any changes there. We did address earlier in the work meeting that our parking is at the minimum, which is 231 spaces. We added an additional 15 spaces. I know this is a hot topic, so let's go ahead and get this one out.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So Jake Place is also across the street, which we're purchasing, where our dog park is going to be. We have looked at putting additional parking spots there, but I'm not sure if you guys want to have a parking lot over there. That's exactly what it would look like if we had to add additional spaces.
Gotcha.
We've also got an option to purchase a single-family parcel that is right there to the left of our clubhouse in this picture. We've got an option out. The seller's thinking about it, so that could also be some overflow parking.
Okay.
as well. So we're looking to create a way
You're
to
working
make
on
that
it.
better for you. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Those things are in process. Regarding garbage, we have our dumpsters at the front entrance. They are enclosed on all sides. You've got 3 fence around it, gate in the front. Right now we've got 2 or 3. I can't remember what they have drawn there. It's kind of grainy right there. But we do make sure pickups often. If we find an issue, our management company will do valet trash service. So we will make sure we pick those up for the residents. So we have also got open space. This property's got a large sewer easement going through the top of it. That's that airplane wing looking thing. We are at 43% open space, which the minimum required is 40. So when we're talking about parking, that's kind of where we are. Could we eat into that if that's an issue as well? And that's kind of everything I have
Okay.
to present.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate the PowerPoint presentation. That was helpful. And I appreciate you trying to work with us on the parking. Any questions for her? If you'll come up, in case these guys have any questions, you'll come right back up. Y'all
What
have-
about
Yeah,
fencing
just stay.
around the residents? Have you,
We've not addressed that before. It did not show up on the comments, but we're willing
I
to.
mean,
listen.
have you talked to neighbors?
We have not talked to neighbors about that.
Okay. My suggestion
When we
would
did this
be-
last time, I'll have to go back and pull the notes from that last one, but there weren't any on this application.
And so you've got on your what is that, Edry Avenue exit? Is that
Edry?
Edry Avenue? So there's
That's the fire.
single family. I mean, are those all existing residences, all those 5 lots there?
Yes, there are.
Are there homes on each one of
Yes,
those?
there are.
Would you, if there is a lot of concern expressed by those, be willing to, I mean, that looks like the primary group of residents that you would be backing up to. The rest you have substantial green space in between those other adjoining ones.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. We do whatever makes them good neighbors for those residents.
And you guys develop, I mean, y'all develop it, but y'all own it afterwards? Y'all manage it?
We are
just
long-term
like
hold
the rest of
owners,
those guys? Okay.
Mhm. And me personally, I've probably built over 5,700 affordable housing units since 2005. I've probably got about 50 properties just in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
I do the whole Southeast through
Oh, okay.
Virginia to Alabama, but I live in Charleston, so this is my main
Sure.
state that I work in.
I understand.
And the similar question to the gentleman before in terms of data to support your parking numbers.
Never heard of that before. But I'm willing to talk to our management companies and ask them if they have that. But
For the purpose of this development, you utilize our minimum requirement and then added some
your
spacing.
guidelines, what my engineer says, and what we have done on other properties of similar sizes.
And if you look at it in the general notes on this page, they do 2 parking spots for 3 bedrooms and 2 parking spots for 4 bedrooms, which is noticeably better than 1.5 or 1.25
That's
for
correct.
3 bedrooms. So thank you for that.
State of South Carolina Housing Agency has their own minimum, so you're allowed to choose what your minimum is or what their minimum is. We do what's best for the property.
Out of curiosity, what is their minimum?
Theirs, I think, is 1 for seniors and 1.5 for family properties.
Thank you.
Excuse me, did I missed that you added parking more than what the plan shows?
We did, yes. I think our parking was required to be 231, and we added 15 additional spaces.
So 15. But as we were talking before, in accordance with more normal parking requirements, you'd be required to have 338 parking spaces, so you're probably around 90 parking spaces short of what a more, I hate to say normal, parking standards. You mentioned Mount Pleasant. Now, Mount Pleasant has a very good parking standard. Let's see, Mount Pleasant, it's 1.5 for a 1-bedroom, 2.0 for a 2-bedroom, and a 3.0 for a 3-bedroom. That's Mount Pleasant. Again, as we're beating the dead horse, last applicant, in my career, I've heard more and more complaints about multifamily housing, shortage of parking. People have parties, they can't park anywhere, they're parking on the grass or parking all over, and they're not happy. So any information you can support this number would be appreciated.
I'd be happy to give you some city references of all my properties I've developed. I don't have any management issues with parking on our properties.
You're saying 2 spots for 3 bedrooms. Last guy said 1.25, so I'm going to take the win, and I appreciate you. I agree with Pete.
I think we all know the parking situation, and so we're asking you to do the best you can on try to add as many spots. I'm not sure if we want a new parking lot across the road. That's something to discuss with city, but parking can be an issue. Any other questions or comments for her?
Well, has that's what I was just looking up in the application before. The fire marshal, has he seen this, or you're not at that point?
I believe this was circulated to everyone to review, and they were fine with that being allowed.
Yeah, okay.
A Knox box.
That's all.
All right.
You have a median entrance, so that's good. Okay, and that's your crash entrance exit?
Off Edgery.
Okay. I would just like to, I would like to see you go to the neighbors and say, this might be coming up, and, about fencing or some kind of buffer or anything that they would, it's only neighborly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fences make very good neighbors.
Well, particularly on that back line where you're
That's, and that's where I'm talking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
10 foot with no fence is pretty close.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do that.
It's something you're probably going to run into. Any other comments, questions?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you, guys.
summarizing that for us. All right, anybody else to speak in favor of this? Yes, ma'am. She's first. You went first last time, so you get to come. Come on up.
I say fencing. Right.
Good evening again.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Sabina Craig, Director of Neighborhood Services for the City of Aiken. And again, my reasonings would be the same. We are in very much need of affordable housing, again, on the north side. So this development is very much needed, again, for the same reasons that I gave earlier. And we are very much in support of this development. So we would hope that you would be in support of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabina.
Hi, LaShawn Rhines. Y'all already know the rest. Again, totally in favor, but what I wanted to say to the neighborhood, speaking to them, because I know Miss Yvonne James, when this came up before, she did have some concern, and she would have felt better actually being able to talk to someone. So I want to encourage that conversation, because it's tremendous to be able to talk, especially senior citizens, who are gonna have to get used to,
Sure.
you know, things being new in their neighborhood. And so I know that, you know, that would be very advantageous for them to help them be at ease and to have that buffer as well. But affordable housing, you already know, we need it. And I wanted to also say, as we think about the foot traffic and different things like that, and whether people are breaking in cars here, there, and the other, it's happening everywhere.
I agree.
It's not just in a
It's not just
low-income
there.
house, you know,
all over.
area. It is
It's everywhere.
everywhere. And so I don't want there to be a negative connotation with affordable housing that it's automatically going to be a burglary or it's automatically going to be that. That's just not good for Aiken, because I think all of us are working together to make Aiken be as best as we can have it be. And so I think if we keep our focus on not downgrading things based on the side of town, because people leaving here every day.
We agree
Yeah,
with
y'all
you.
with
We,
me?
we understand where you're
Thank
going.
y'all very much.
We understand where
With
you're
you.
going. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for speaking. Any other comments tonight on this application? Okay. I will entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there any other comments against this application? Okay. I'll ask for a motion. Take a motion. Sam,
Okay.
call you out, brother.
All right. I did 2 restaurants tonight too, so I feel good about that. Okay, for application number 25-60012 rezone and 25-22006 concept plan, for tax parcel 120-19-02-001. I would like to pass this to city council for approval with the conditions listed 1 through 4, and adding one about the fencing, at least in front of the 5 residential.
The properties along Edry or Edry.
Right, yes. And I don't really see any other, I mean, from that I can't tell, but I encourage the developer to try to speak to all the neighbors. And, the fencing has nothing to do with crime or anything else. It's just a block. That's all. And if someone is running from one thing to another to get away, there's a fence there. So, that is my motion. I
Okay.
don't know if you all want to add any conditions or not.
That's your motion, so, I've
I'll
got.
second it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Carson. All right, any further discussion with the commissioners?
I just have a quick question for Ms. Moultrie. I noticed this on the last application as well. Normally ours have a 180-day stipulation. These have 365. Is that just due to the tax credits? Or?
It's due to the tax credits and just the just the length of time they have to.
Understood. Just want a clarification on that. Thank you.
Good question. All right, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. And it is unanimously passed. Thank you so much tonight. Okay, we are down to our final application, O. We hadn't made it to O in a long time. It's impressive.
Oh,
Application number 25-60013. It's a rezone request, tax parcel number 104-16-37-007 and 104-16-37-008. This is on Abbeville Avenue and Perrin Street. This is a general business, current zoning, and they're looking to come in under residential multifamily low density. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this? Yes, sir. We appreciate your patience tonight. We'll put you on letter A next time.
Someone had to be last, but.
You better not say that, right?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Chika Akanya, and I'm here for Omala Realty LLC. So the mission of Omala Realty is to provide quality, affordable housing for middle-income families, and we are excited to present our vision for the current vacant lot located at the corner of Abbeville Avenue and Perrin Street, which is presently zoned for general business use. Our proposal is to develop 4 residential homes on this lot, 2 fronting Abbeville Avenue and 2 fronting Perrin Street. This design not only makes efficient use of the space, but also integrates seamlessly with the surrounding neighborhood's character. We believe this project directly supports the city of Aiken's broader efforts to revitalize areas within the city limits by encouraging thoughtful community-based development. Our goal is to contribute to the vibrant, livable environment that supports local families and strengthens the community. And we look forward to collaborating with the city officials and residents to bring this vision to life. And I'm open to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah. Approximately how many? Can you talk about how many units you're going to be building here? About how many residents you might envision living here? Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So at this point, we are looking at putting up four buildings on the lot. Like I said, 2 will be facing Abbeville, and the other 2 will be facing Perrin Street. So we are looking at approximately between 1,200, 1,300 square feet house, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and our goal is to sell 2 and hold 2, for the long term, for rental.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, anybody here to speak in favor, against, or comments on this? Okay. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would take it from you, Sam. Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 25-60013, rezone request for tax parcel 104-16-37-007 and 104-16-37-008, current zoning GB, proposed zoning RML. I make a motion that we move to City Council for approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Clarkson. And a second?
Second.
Herb, you've been hot tonight. I'm gonna
I've
keep
been
you on there. All right, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. And it passes unanimously. And I will ask for a motion of adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor, raise your hand. We're adjourned.